What's up, guys? Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. I'm Dustin. I'm here with Nameco. Week 1's over. There's plenty of stuff to talk about. Let's get right into the injury report.
We're going to start off with Donovan McNabb. He's got some broken ribs, and there's some reports saying he might try to play this week. But if you own him, start trying to make some other plans because we find it highly doubtful he's going to play this week and maybe even a couple after that. Next on the list is Anthony Gonzalez, who's got a knee injury. He's going to be out at least 4 weeks. If you're in any leagues with individual defensive players, we got 2 for you. First one's Brian Urlacher, dislocated wrist, done for the season. Next is Jared Mayo for the Patriots. He's got a knee problem right now, and what the reports are saying are kind of conflicting. Some say 3 weeks, some say 8 weeks, so keep an eye on the situation.
Alright, now we're going to get into some waiver wire pickups we think you should make. First thing, we're going to give you 5 running backs that we think are must-adds in almost all leagues. First one, Darren Sproles. He's owned in about 80% of leagues, but with LT continuing to slow down in his old age, look for Sproles to pick up the slack. Then we got Tim Hightower, 12 catches on Sunday. He's only owned in about 75% of leagues. If you're in a PPR league, you're going to want to add Hightower. Then we got Leon Washington. We've been talking about him all year, but he's still only owned in about 65% of leagues. Come on, people. He's going to be huge this year for the Jets. Go pick him up. Then we got Fred Jackson. He's owned in about 65% of leagues. He's going to have 2 more weeks where he's going to start with Lynch being out, so you want to ride that out until he comes back. Then Cadillac Williams. He's owned in about 55% of leagues. He played a decent role on Sunday. Look for him to have just as many carries continuing on.
3 guys to look at in deeper leagues. First one's Devon Best. He's a great possession receiver for the Dolphins, so in a PPR league, he's almost a must-add. Then we have Earl Bennett, a guy that we loved coming into the season, caught 8 balls. He looks to be for real. And last is Jamal Charles. Larry Johnson just didn't look good week 1. We really feel it's a matter of time until Charles takes over the bulk of the carries out for Kansas City. Now, this is just a portion of the list for guys that we think you should look at on the waiver wires, so go ahead and log on to FantasySmackTalk.com and click on Waiver Wire Week 2 to see the complete full list.
Alright, now each week we're going to take a question from our forums and answer it on the show. This week we're going to do a roster review for Rabid Emu. He posted his team, just wanted any type of tips or advice that we can give him. He's new to fantasy. So here's his team. His starters are pretty solid, but you get to his bench, it's pretty shallow. The main reason for that is because he drafted 2 tight ends, 2 defenses, and 2 kickers. Now, you never want to draft 2 kickers, so you can drop one of those, so that's one roster spot that we can play around with. Now, as far as taking 2 defenses and 2 tight ends, we don't normally like doing it, but he's got 2 solid guys on his bench, so we'll probably just keep him there for now. And looking at the rest of it, McLean, we don't really like McLean, so we can probably drop him. So that's 2 roster spots that we can now play around with to add some depth on his bench. We gave him a list of guys to check on his waiver wire to see who's available. Leon Washington was the first name. We told him to use his waiver, pick up Leon Washington. There's no reason he should be available right now. And then there's 2 decent receivers in Devon Best and Earl Bennett who are available. We told him just wait and see which one of those guys cleared waivers and pick one of those guys up. So already with just the addition of those 2 guys, he's got a lot more depth on his bench and a lot more trade bait.
Alright, with all this newfound depth, let's take a look at some trades we think Emu should be trying to pull off. And he should be trying to upgrade at either wide receiver or tight end. First thing you notice about the receivers is he has 2 Broncos on his team, which we don't really recommend. If they go up against a tough passing defense and throw up goose egg, that's going to be a tough week for him to win. So we say you should try to package one of these 2 Broncos with a running back and upgrade to a top 10 wide receiver. If no one's really biting on that, then maybe you should really go after an elite tight end. He'll package one of his existing tight ends right now and the running back to upgrade. Remember, he's got a really deep bench after the couple moves that he's made, so whenever you have something like that early on, what you really want to do is a 2-for-1 trade. You consolidate your team, upgrade your starting lineup, and you even have a free roster spot to play around with.
Now remember, we pulled this straight from our forums, so if you have a question or just something you want to ask, go on to FantasySmackTalk.com and post it in our forums, and there's a chance we'll review it on next week's show. Also, don't forget to post all your stardom sit-em questions for Sunday. We'll address those on the Sunday show. And there is a new poll on the homepage. You're going to want to go on there and vote on that. That's it until Sunday. I'm Dustin. This is Brent. We'll see you then.